probe found officers failed to follow rules, but as you just heard, the Attorney General questions the Cleveland police system itself.
I'll be speaking one-on-one with Attorney General Mike DeWine in just a moment, but we begin our team coverage tonight with News Channel 5's Michael Baldwin. He's been following this story since it unfolded November 29th.
Attorney General Mike DeWine said the words many in the community have been waiting to hear.
We have completed our investigation.
It was at the Justice Center where officers said they heard a loud bang come from Russell's car. Officers thought they were being shot at. They told investigators, quote, "He popped around right as he drove by us." DeWine said his car was going 66 miles an hour. The toxicology report released shows Russell was driving drunk and both on cocaine. The chase continued for some 23 minutes. During the chase, an officer radioed that he believed the car had backfired, while another officer said the passenger, Williams, was not armed. She was wearing black gloves and holding a red pop can. The message never got through to officers involved in the chase. 62 patrol cars joined in. The supervisor where the chase began in District 2 thought only 3 cars were in the chase and never gave permission to the other 59 patrol cars that joined in against city policy. The chase would end in East Cleveland, where Russell's car would be blocked in from both directions. In a nutshell, officers felt Russell was trying to run them over and fired shots. As the shots went through the car, officers on the other side didn't realize the bullets were coming from their co-workers, not Russell and Williams.
And joining me now is Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine. Mr. DeWine, the state was asked to lead this investigation, and now, a couple of months later, it seems in a way like the findings leave as many questions as they answered.
You know, my job was to find the truth and get all the information out, and it's really unprecedented, the scope of the investigation that our BCI agents did. But really what's unprecedented is, instead of normally we would just hand this over to the prosecutor, you would never know about it until the prosecutor did whatever he was going to do with it. He and I both felt, frankly, this information needs to go out. So anyone, any of your viewers, can go up on ohioattorneygeneral.gov and they can pull down not only my statement, my report, but they can also pull down all of the interviews, and there's over 300 of them.
There's been a lot of reaction, as you know, to these findings as the day has continued, including one Cleveland council member who suggested the report in a way took the easy way out by blaming the system. Did you expect criticism over the findings?
Oh, I knew that there'd be a lot of people criticize whatever we say. We called it like we saw it. You know, it's a tragedy. But a couple things I think are important to point out. One, the 2 individuals in the car, the driver, could have stopped at any time, and the tragedy would have been averted. Second, every police officer who was involved in this chase, I am convinced, felt, based on all he or she was hearing, that they felt that there was a shot had been fired at a police officer, that a gun was being brandished, and that their life was in danger. But when you look at what really happened, I think that the police department failed these officers. They are in the heat of doing what they do. They're trying to protect their own lives, protect the public's lives. They think they've been shot at. What has to kick in is a system. There was no supervision. There was no leadership. There was no communication. We had situations where some officers were on one channel, other officers were on another channel. The supervisor, the person who was supposed to be supervising this, only thought there were 3 cars in this chase.
You really focused on the chain of command and the communication.
It's a chain of command problem.
This afternoon, Cleveland Police Chief Mike McGrath at City Hall, along with the mayor, the police chief emphatically denied a systemic failure, saying that there are systems and policies in place and that people have to follow these systems and policies.
Well, I respect that, and I respect the chief, and I certainly really like the mayor and respect the mayor. I think he's a great mayor. I hope this report will give them information to be helpful, but I disagree with that statement. When you have every officer doing something, if you have 1 officer, 2 officers making a mistake, they're kind of the outlier, and you look at that and you say, okay, we have to deal with that. When every officer makes the same mistake, when every officer does the same thing. You had 58, 59 officers who did not get permission to join this. When they all make a mistake, it's not their fault. It's leadership's fault.
Real quick, you said that normally you would not make this information public at this point, but that there is nothing normal about this case. Can you elaborate on what you meant by that?
Well, I think the interest in the community. I think, you know, the community needs to know this information. And I think what's good about this is we put this out. They not only can get it from you, they can go pull it down and read every report they want to, make their own determination. What I hope this report does is it kicks off, this tragedy ends in something positive, and that is that we have a debate here in Cleveland, and we have a discussion, and it's an informed discussion about what systemic problems there are in the police department, because I truly believe they are. And I think that leadership and the systemic problems, that ultimately failed these officers, but it failed everyone.
Right.
You know, we have public safety issues involved as well.
Attorney General Mike DeWine, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. We really thank you for coming here today
Thank you very
to
much.
talk about these important findings. All right, Danita?